All right, guys, this is Mobile Gamer Nerd, and we're back with another Raid Shadow Legends free-to-play mystery shard only run video. Today, we're going to be talking about early game dungeons and heroes that you can use to get through it. I think what we're going to do is, I was originally going to do this with a bunch of random heroes that are low level, that are just kind of whatever, but I decided that what we're going to do today is we're going to use my actual heroes. Unfortunately, they're going to be very strong, but at least they'll show you the heroes that you use for early game dungeons and ones that can get you through things and help you out. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through each dungeon one by one and kind of just show you the heroes that you can use to get through them. And that's really it. So we'll go right into it. I don't want to spend a lot of time babbling about stuff, even though I do that anyway. So Minotaur. All right. Minotaur is going to be one of the ones that you're going to be not really, honestly, I know a lot of people will tell you to focus this dungeon very early. Surprisingly enough, you don't really have to if you do it the way that I played. If you don't do it the way I played, yeah, you might want to focus this a little early. I use all of the gems that I got in the beginning of the game to get my masteries on Kale first. So the first 800 gems go to Kale, and then I use the second 800 gems to get War Maiden, and then I believe I did Apothecary, and I also bought Spirit Host. All right, and then I farmed Valerie's masteries, because what happens is Kale, Spirit Host, War Maiden, and Apothecary, or Diabolist if you got her, if you don't have Apothecary. If you got all of their masteries done, those four heroes can run Minotaur all the way up to 15. All right, so those four heroes are fine. You can literally just build them, keep building them, go through the stages. Eventually, you will get to 15. All you got to do is keep leveling your heroes. That's it. It could take a month. It could take 2 months. We're talking a lot of time, but yeah, you can just build your main starting five, and you will get through up to stage 15 eventually. And then you just farm one hero at a time. Boom, you farm stage 15. You switch in and out the fourth hero, whoever you got, and you just go through it. And that's it. You can do it with those four heroes. You don't even need anyone else. And all of them are farmable if you're just starting this. All right, Kale is the hero you can pick right from the start. You can get Valerie right here, but we're not going to be in stage one, but we're not going to be using her as our extra farmable. She's just the last one. You can get your Spirit Host from stage 4, and you can get War Maiden from stage 9. Boom, there you go. There's your War Maiden, defense down. And you can get Diabolist if you don't have Apothecary from stage 12 from drops, okay? So those are the ones that you're going to be basically using in almost all of these dungeons, all right? Now, Ice Golem. And remember, guys, we're only talking about like stage 1 through, what is it, 1 through 5. I mean, 1 through 10. Like, we're not talking like late game. Just to kind of show you here, we'll pull these guys out. Just so actually, I'm going to put him back in. So we're going to put Kale in the lead. Actually, no, we're not going to put Kale in the lead. We are going to we'll bring Diabolist in. How's that? So we'll bring her. We'll bring Kale. We'll bring Diabolist, and we will bring Spirit Host, and then we will bring Spy Master because he's the one that I'm actually leveling. And there you go. So now these guys will be able to run this eventually. All right. So just like I said, keep running, and they'll get through it. All right. Diabolist is great. There's no healer on this team, which sucks. But the point is that you can get through it. Now, if I was starting this early game and I didn't have Apothecary, you may want to consider not using Diabolist here and bringing Valerie in just because she can heal and shield. Once you get to the point where we're at, where you're not really too worried about healing so much, you could just do it this way and just kind of blast through it for speed's sake, all right? But yeah, I use Apothecary in place of Diabolist on this team just because she can heal. But most likely, once you get to where I am, at least, you're not going to have to worry about it. And honestly, I've been farming this since like the first, honestly, 2 or 3 months. Like, it doesn't take that long to beat stage 15 Minotaur. He's the easiest boss in the game, and the only thing he's got going for him is hexes. If you want, you could even switch one of these guys out for like an Armiger, who is an uncommon hero, and bring him in for turn meter reduction every turn. Get him real fast. Just put him in like a speed set or something and literally give him a bunch of accuracy. And boom, you've got a dude who's going to keep removing the turn meter on the boss, and then you can spend a little. Obviously, the fight's going to take longer, but at least you're not going to be getting hit with anything. I'm going to choke on my own phlegm. I hope you're excited about that. So yeah, that's basically it. And you just win. Boom. These are the guys you're going to build. All these guys are good. You can use them. I still use them to this day. Diabolist is the only one I don't use as much, but yeah, awesome team. They can do it, and you just bring in your last hero, and you farm up their masteries while you level them if you want, and boom, you've got max masteries. You put it on auto, and you go do something else. So there you go. That is Minotaur. Dungeons. Let's go into Dragon. Dragon is the second easiest boss. Yeah, we're in hard mode. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to show that. There we go. So yeah, this is the second easiest boss to beat. And literally same thing. All right. You are going to be bringing in the same heroes. Look at all these jerk heroes. All right. So let's see. We've got Kale. We've got Diabolist. We've got not Warmaiden, Valerie. We've got Spirit Host, and we will bring Diabolist because I like to show that she is good enough to do this. So here we go. We're on stage. What is this? 10. Either way, I can show this on stage 20, but these are once again all the farmable heroes. Literally every one of you will get them. All right, and you can see that they're obviously strong enough now. All right, but they will get you through it. You just keep building farm gear on whatever level you're at. If you're at whatever stage 5, farm stage 5 for a little bit, get some better gear. Who knows? All right, so now we just did a video. If you want to see this, of all the things you should do in the early game, I just did it. It came out this week, so it was like a day ago, 2 days ago. Once you watch this video, so you can go watch that if you want to see how I got the gear for like the starting teams. But look at that, they were able to do it. Obviously, they're level 60. I get it, but they were able to do it. Now in Dragon, where can we start farming? So let's look at the numbers here. So right here, stage 3, you get 2 to 3 star gear. Stage 4, you get 2 to 4 star gear. And stage 5, you get 3 to 4. You start getting 5 around 7. All right. So what you can do is if you're having trouble and you don't have any, whoa, that was weird. If you're having trouble and you don't have any gear, you can literally farm stage 7 to 10, depending on how strong you are. This is going to keep doing that. That's because I clicked the other button. Stage 7 to 10, and just get 4 and 5 star gear to make your team better. And you do get speed, accuracy, lifesteal. Really, speed and lifesteal are the ones you're going to want the most. Speed, probably the most. That's really good for Warmaiden. It's really good for a secondary set for Kale. It's good for a secondary set for Spirit Host. It's good for Apothecary. It's good for, like literally the whole team. You could literally put speed sets on all of them and it would help your account. So really speed is what you want, but lifesteal is really good if you want to try and get in a couple extra pieces for someone else. That's up to you. Maybe even Warmaiden. That's up to you. I don't think it's a bad idea, but I don't think it's an amazing idea. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, you can get through. Those guys that I just showed you can get through all the way up until I believe we started having trouble somewhere around 15 to 18. We started seeing some issues, and then we needed Syl to get through 19 and 20. Now, if I ran it now, which I actually had done in a previous video, they have beaten it, but a lot of them die. All right, and you have to bring Apothecary. Diablos just wasn't good enough for stage 20. So yeah, they can beat stage 20 up until 20. That team you just saw, but just keep building. That's it. Level and build. All right. So next dungeon, Ice Golem. Ice Golem's honestly exactly the same thing. There's really no difference here. He doesn't become an issue until you start getting into here. I'll show you. You can literally see it when it changes. See, 16 is still easy. All right. And then you start moving into 17. See the times getting longer and longer. All right. This is when I start using better heroes. But here, stage 21 and up, I mean, it starts getting real crazy because you got to kill those ads and hopefully block revive on them. But up until then, it's literally just a tank and spank. Like you just have to be tanky enough to not die. So you can beat these. Here, we'll go right into, well, whatever. We'll just do stage 10. It doesn't really matter. Take these guys all out. We don't need any of these guys. Boop, right there. And once again, it's funny because these videos are almost useless because you literally are just using the same 5 heroes every time. Like that's why I tell people to use the starting 5, and why if you haven't watched my starting 5 video, go into Champion Spotlight and you can see the starting 5. I really should have brought a water today. I'm going to be crazy. All right. So yeah, watch the starting 5 video if you haven't. It's kind of a better breakdown. And then if that's not enough, I do have champion spotlights on each and every one of the heroes you are looking at now that is separate and specific to them. So you can see how I build them and what I do with them and why I like them. So look at this. Crazy, crazy time, right? And those shield sets on Valerie and Spirit Host are the big help here because you definitely just don't get hit with anything. It's amazing. Literally nothing hurts you because in the waves, because you're great. You got a shield, and no one dies in that one hit on that off chance. So there you go. That's Ice Golem's peak. They're literally the same 5 heroes. All right. Now, once you get into Fire Knight and Spider, things are a little different here. All right. Now, Fire Knight is not as easy. All right. Things you're going to be looking for in Fire Knight. You're going to be looking for heroes that can do 2 or 3 hits at least, and you're looking for heroes that can maybe do turn meter reduction, heal reduction, defense down, things like that. Those are really the stats. But the main thing here is getting the shield down, because if you can't get the shield down, it doesn't matter how many debuffs you have. It's not going to help you unless everyone on your team has turn meter reduction. So the ones that work here, we're going to bring in these guys just to show you stage 10, even though I still get that they are very strong. And where's my Valerie? Oh, I got Valerie. Who am I missing? Spirit Host. Boom. There we go. It's funny because even at high level, you will see a problem if you can't get the shield down. All right. You'll see that they will have issues with this, but this team will get you through all of the early game stuff, all of it. And all of you can farm it, all of you can build it. There's no summoning required. There's no magic required. You don't need to hope for a better hero. Literally nothing. All right. So look, the shield's not down yet. See what I mean? He's already healing up. And this is at level 60 that they're doing this, because that shield is the biggest pain in the ass. So this is the problem you're going to have when you're playing early game. You're going to be like, crap, I don't have enough hits to take the shield down. Look at this. They're still trying to get the shield down. Luckily enough, my team is so strong that they can kill the boss through the shield, really, if I wanted to. All right, so they still can win. Now, this is not the team that I would choose for this fight. All right, and I just wanted to show you that even at level 60, this is why people are having trouble, is because you're just not using the right heroes, okay? Now, there you go. Kale finally got a poison off, that 4-hitter, which helps you kill him, and now my team will be able to bash this guy in the face. Look at that. We got a poison, and now he's dead. So what do you do to counter that, all right? We do edit team. What we do is we keep Kale, all right? We keep Spirit Host if you want, just because you got attack up. It's kind of nice, but you don't need her. Valerie's way more helpful, just because she can put the shields up. She has attack up and defense, and she can kind of remove the speed, but that's really why we have her. But I wouldn't bring Diablos, all right? Everyone else at this point that you're going to bring probably isn't a farmable hero. Most of them are going to be from summons. So instead of just being like, oh, you can use this hero, I'm going to show you all the heroes you can use, all right? So we don't need War Maiden, all right? We can kind of just walk away from her. So now you can choose between Valerie or Spirit Host if you need someone to heal and remove debuffs. I think just for this, we're going to use Valerie, just because, all right? So that's Valerie. Now, who do you use? So we have a bunch of heroes. We can use Headsman. He has heal reduction, all right? He also has, I think, a 2-hitter on one of his hits, but he can do heal reduction, all right? Any one of these heroes are going to be great for extra attacks. You've got Apothecary. He has a 3-hitter on his A1. We've got Grave Chill. She can do a bunch of attacks with multiple hits, so she's awesome. We've got Frozen Banshee. She can do a ton of damage and poison, so she is really awesome. If you've watched my videos, all 3 of these heroes right here, you can beat this with, and they'll just poison the crap out of the boss. Here, let's just do it with this team real quick, and then we'll come back in with some other ones. So you can literally do this with, they're going to do a ton more damage. Look at that. Yeah, he does have a 2-hitter on his A1. So there you go. Right through. Now watch how much different this fight goes with this team. All right. We got a 2-hitter on an A1 there. Now Frozen Banshee's going to come in. He got his 4-hitter. We've got our shield, which is a waste. Say she got that off. Now we've got heal reduction. He's not healing. Now, hopefully everyone gets their extra attacks in. She got an extra turn because she's using an extra turn skill. There you go. She's got a 3-hitter on her poison. So that makes the shield drop, which is very nice. And there we go. Shield is now down. And boom, we are in decreased defense, and he's dead. Look at the difference in that, all right? That was 4 seconds better than my best time. So these guys are great at doing extra hits, all right? So you can use them. Let's edit the team. Who else can you use in here, all right? Headsman is great for heal reduction. Another hero that's great for heal reduction. Well, not great, but he's good. You've got Twin Claw Disciple. I mean, the dude can do heal reduction if you want, and he'll get you through it. Who else does multiple attacks? Let's see. Who do we got here who likes to do multiple attacks? This chick, Petrifia, we got her. She's new. You can even bring in someone like Golem if you want. Let's see. Let's check. We're going to try this out with different ones. The main thing here is that you're seeing the shield part. That's the part that really is hard, all right? Who you bring in outside of that is all based on which hero can keep you alive. Valerie is really good at keeping the team alive to get through the waves. All right, the waves can be difficult as you get further along. All right, so just be careful. Look at that. Petrify does a lot of damages. A lot of damages. So who can do good here? Golek has a lot of good hits. He's got a 2-hitter on his A1, and he's got a 4-hitter. Petrify has a bunch of hits. Twin Claw is not really good for doing like the extra hits. He's more there for doing the heal reduction if you can get the shield down fast enough. So would I put him in this team with this specific one? No, I'd probably actually switch out Golek. But as you can see, look at that. Petrify is great at this fight. There you go. Heal reduction is up, but he's already dead. So yeah, someone like Petrify is way better. She has more attacks. Would I bring Golek in here? He's good enough. He's got the 4-hitter, so it's going to be like every other round that he can get that 4-hitter off and take the shield down quicker. And if you get it combined with Kale and Golek, yeah, boom, you can take that shield down pretty fast. Let's go back in again. Like I said, this one's the hard. This is one of the harder ones, so we're going to spend more time on it. So let's take him out. Let's get rid of Kale. How about that? Let's take Kale out. We're going to take her out, and we're going to take him out. So who else we got? Well, everyone gets High Katoon. So if we put her in the lead for speed, all right, and let's just say we take her out and we bring Spirit Host. Why not? Let's just switch it up a bit. Who else can we bring in here? All right, so who's got extra attacks? I'm trying to think. All right, this boy right here, Fleshmonger. This guy has a 3-hitter on his A1. He has defense down. Really good hero. Let's see. Let's say you picked El Hain. There you go. You've got her. And who else can do multiple hits? Grappler. Boom. Awesome. Let's go. Grappler is you're actually getting a preview of Grappler because we haven't done the champion spotlight on Grappler yet. Everyone else has a champion spotlight. So if you're waiting on Grappler, just know it's coming soon. I may do it this week or next week. We don't know yet. So, but he has a shield. He has a reflect damage. That means if the boss hits us with reflect damage up, I believe he takes all the hits. So that's 5 hits to the shield. So Grappler could be an insanely good early game enemy for this boss. And then look at that. He has a bunch of hits. She's got a 2-hitter. There we go. 1, 2, 3. Look at that. Fleshmonger just popping away. And then High Katoon has speed down. Look at that. Dead. Look at that. Completely dead. So fast dead. So yeah, don't think that when people tell you you need certain heroes to do things, we're talking about early game. There's plenty of heroes that can get through this stuff, all right? You need to focus on shield, all right, for the Fire Knight. That's the main thing, all right? If your team is not strong enough, if you've been putting all attack on your heroes, then you just need them to be able to hit the shield down because more than likely they'll be able to kill the Fire Knight pretty quickly. If you're having trouble with that, though, yeah, you might want to start considering other heroes, all right? And if you've watched my videos before, you'll know that certain heroes, such as, let's get rid of her. Where is she? My girl. That I pass right over. This girl right here, Crimson Slayer. She is in my stage 25 team. All right. She is amazing. She has a turn meter reduction. She has a 3-hitter on her A1. Awesome, awesome hero. We can get her out of here. Hyria is an awesome hero. She has an ally attack. So not only will she get a bunch of attacks, but everyone else who has an A1 that hits 3 times, aka all 3 of these guys, dead. All right. So let's take her out. We'll bring Spirit Host back in as my lead because just in case you don't have her, start. Because I think you get her the first month, right? I think she's the first month. So now let's see how these guys handle it. Look at that. Fleshmonger's awesome. I freaking love that fat pig. This is my girls with 2 fat pigs in the background to help them out. Look at that. Sleeping it out. Boom. Heal reduction. Goodbye. All right. So let's see how fast they can get it down. I'm curious. So 3 hits. He's got a bunch of hits. Poison Lily hits a bunch of times. And then, boom, we've got a bunch of hits. Decreased turn meter, which is nice. Look at that. Boom, in the face. Oh, it was just enough? Nope, it wasn't enough. I was hoping we could get it right in that first round. That would have been nice. See, that's the flowing sword hit that drops turn meter. Looks like we're going to kill him through the shield, unfortunately. But that's because we're stronger. That probably won't happen to you too much except in the first few rounds. So yeah, these guys do a ton of damage. They all hit a bunch of times. Bunch of heroes in here that are really good, all right? Now, obviously, your fight's not going to be 46 seconds or 30 seconds. It's probably going to be, I've seen my fights back in the day. I mean, crap, they were like, 7 to 11 minutes. It happens, all right? As long as you can keep your team alive, great. That's when you would take Spirit Host out or even add Valerie in as one of these people, like take out Grappler maybe and put Valerie, whichever one you want to do. Either way works. Just make sure you're choosing heroes that can get through that shield. All right. So that's enough there. I think that's enough heroes, right? Is that enough rare heroes that can get through it? I don't know. Was that enough? All right, let's go into. All right, so we did Fire Knight, we did Ice Golem. Ice Golem and Dragon, like I said, are easy early on. We're not talking about late game. Late game, Ice Golem becomes one of the biggest problems in the game. Dragon stays basically consistent at being the easiest dungeon out of all of them. You just need stronger heroes and more removal of debuffs and some other stats that are going to help you out. But the starting five will get you through it just fine. Spider. The starting five can get you through most of the beginning of Spider. Spider will start to become hard as you move your way into stage 15 would be the hardest, but you are going to start seeing some resistance between probably around stage, if I had to guess, somewhere around stage 7 and up. You're going to start seeing some resistance, and it might be a pain in the ass. I believe, honestly, when I first started, we're talking like the first week, like first few days, you're going to see some trouble from stage 3 to stage 5. All right. Even stage 1 might be a problem for you right when you get to it. So just know that there are some things that happen. But as far as Spider, the main thing here is just being strong. That's it. Like I, I wish there was more to it at this point. You're not going to have any heroes. All you're going to have is your main heroes. So let's just say we picked Golek. All right. So we've got Golek. We've got Spirit Host. We've got War Maiden. All right. These two are really good for this because they have AoEs and she has decreased defense. All right. So we're good there. Let's just bring in some random heroes that no one sees often that can just do some damage. Actually, no, we're not going to put random. We're going to pick ones that are farmable. How about that? So we will bring in this guy and Zephyr. So just to kind of give you an idea of what we're doing here. Start. You can just overpower this guy basically, and that's it. The starting five will work on this guy up to stage 10, possibly stage 14 and 15, depending on how well you built them and how long you've been playing. But definitely you can start getting at least 5-star equipment from stage 10 by farming there. And that's all you need. I actually do farm stage 10 almost every day for equipment just because I do it for the quest. All right. So stage 10 is really all you have to beat. Anything after that is for quests and for things that you're going to have to do later on, which are going to take a lot more. And if you want to see those fights, I have videos in the dungeon playlist. You can see all the fights and how I actually beat them and what teams I've been using. And you'll see higher level fights. This is literally just for the early game to help you get through it. All right. So literally you can use anyone here. Just have damage. All right. That's it. Now, like I said, my team is level 60. All right. And we're wiping the floor with this. Your team, you might have Zephyr at like 50. You might have your main hero at 50. You might have Zephyr at 40. Who knows? There's ways around it. If you're having trouble, lifesteal is very helpful. Things to note about Spider: whoever has the lowest HP is the one he's going to attack as long as the affinity matches. All right, let's edit team. So here we go. Here's your affinity chart. All right. This is the first time affinity is going to matter. All right. A lot. All right. The other dungeons, it does matter, but not to the point where it literally changes the whole fight. Fire Knight would be the closest to that because if you're not landing turn meter reduction later in the game, yeah, you might have a problem with affinity because you're not going to land your turn meter and then the boss is going to attacks and kill you. But the baby spiders target whoever is the weak person. All right. So anyone in here that I bring who is he's blue affinity. He is the magic affinity. All right. Spirit affinity is his target. The baby spiders will target whoever is spirit first. So now you've got 3 heroes in here that are spirit. Okay. Whoever has the lowest HP at any given time. All right. Doesn't matter if they have the lowest HP max, like the whole fight. Whoever has the lowest HP. So if he gets hit in the face with something and then she has 10,000 HP and then he has 4,000 HP, the baby spiders are going to target him. All right. So life steal on any hero that is not your tank is the important thing. Zephyr is my tank and actually was my tank in stage 15 to get me through it. You can watch that in the video. But yeah, she has the lowest HP. I think she has like 29,000 HP. And the other guys basically just heal themselves back up when they do their attacks. So they're always at max HP and they all have higher HP. So he probably has like 30 to 35,000. I know she's in like the 39 range. I think she's about that same thing, like 30 something plus. And I know he's got over 32. So basically she has the lowest HP. The baby spiders will always target. Now, if you do not have a spirit affinity, let's say this is all red. All right. Let's say this is, we'll just do whatever. Let's just pick some reds. Boop. Reds. All right. So now, no one is the weak affinity. So who does he choose? Well, he chooses the one that has the lowest HP. All right. This is super important for this fight, and it's honestly going to be the most frustrating thing, beating the spider from 15 to 20. Early game, you're like I said, you're just going to blast through it. But if you are having trouble here, and you're whoever the person is that your team is that the spiders are targeting, you may have to adjust some stuff, and maybe like if say your kale is getting targeted and you don't want him to get targeted, all right, you want them to target someone else. Put some more HP on them. All right, check the affinity and make sure that it works with the fight. All right, this is a very, very annoying fight, and it literally made me angry a lot in the beginning. It is not even close to being one of the hardest fights in the game to me anymore. You will get better. Once you start getting better heroes, you will see that it gets a lot easier. But yeah, in the beginning, just focus on bringing in heroes who can blast this stupid ass spider over and over again, and have a healer. You know, in the beginning, Valerie's good enough to kind of keep you alive. Apothecary is great for it. Spirit Host doesn't really heal. Who else does healing that you get? Do you get anyone else? Like healers are so hard to find. A Veer could be a good healer right here. Let's get these guys out of here. Veer could be a good healer here. Even Headsman can be in here as an AoE damage dealer. Like I said, I wouldn't recommend anyone specifically outside of the main ones I just showed you from the starting 5, but they're all pretty good. I mean, you've got Fleshmonger who can do these kinds of things. You could bring in someone like Tolog who does defense up. That's not bad. Anyone who has turn meter reduction will be very helpful. So Crimson Slayer is good. Soul Bond I used in early game. I think she's on my team. Here, let's go team setup. Let's go to Spider. What is it, 17? Spider 15. Spider 17. I think I put her in. Here we go. This is Spider 16. There we go. Let's back out of this. Let's go into 15. Even though I've shown it before, let's go in here. 15. This is the hardest fight in trying to beat for a quest. All right, and that's because, there we go. This is the hardest fight in the early game. Is literally this one you're watching right now, stage 15. All right, so we use Soulbond, Zephyr Sniper, Crimson Slayer, Armiger, and Spirit Host. And just to be clear, we use them at level 60. So all of my heroes were level 60 when we finally beat this. Now, as you can see, they're targeting Zephyr because she's a defense hero. So we have her in insane amounts of defense. All right. And then there is a specific setup, which I'm not going to review now. All right. If you want to see that, you can go watch the spider videos in dungeons because there's a lot to cover. But yeah, basically, it's just you just have someone who the baby spiders will attack. That's it. If they can handle it, she's in lifesteal. She can counterattack. She can do a lot of different stuff if you put her in the correct masteries, which is why I said masteries are so damn important. Yeah, you can focus one hero at a time, build them up as you go. It took me over a month to beat this fight. And I tell this to everyone almost every time we talk about Spider. It took me over a month to beat this freaking Spider. All right, but turn meter reduction is really helpful here because it stops the main spider from getting an attack long enough to not heal more than your attacks. Okay, see, look how much he healed back up. So now you have 2 rounds to do as much damage as possible. And there is, like I said, some setup here for the AI. You need to make sure that everybody's doing the correct stuff. But yeah, laid to rest, we got him. Armiger does turn meter reduction. Look at that. Soul Bond does turn meter reduction. And then you have a tank. And look at that. They all healed right back up so that they're still targeting Zephyr. All right. And look at that. Back down to 0 turn meter. It takes a little bit for this fight to kind of kick in. But yeah, I mean, it's the one that we're going to probably focus on the most outside of Fire Knight. Fire Knight, we went through a lot of teams because you just need to understand the mechanics of it. Fire Knight, you can use turn meter reduction to just keep the shield down forever. All right, so the heroes you're looking at right now outside of Zephyr can all be used in Fire Knight also. Literally this entire team. All right, outside of what's her face. I would probably bring in Apothecary or someone who does more damage over Zephyr in this fight in Fire Knight. But this team will basically turn meter reduction Fire Knight to death. It's like he just won't get attacks. So I would probably definitely bring someone who can do a 3-hitter on their A1 because that'll counterbalance the fact that you're using Soul Bond because Soul Bond only has single target attacks, which is not good for the Fire Knight. But her one skill removes the entire turn meter. Look at that, no turn meter. So your only problem here once the fight starts going is making sure that Zephyr is strong enough to take the hits. All right, and I think this really was the most frustrating fight I ever had because this is the first time that you're really facing an actual challenge. And I mean in when I say an actual challenge, I don't mean you ran into Doom Tower early and it's like, oh, it's hard, I can't beat it. Like, I'm talking about you just started the game and the missions, you're following missions. This is going to be your first like hard stop boss for early game. So yeah, as long as you understand how the fights work, I think that's your best bet. Learn the fights, read the skills, watch my videos because, like I said, I have plenty of videos on how much I hated this fight. So I have plenty of videos on how much this screwed me up. So, but yeah, you're just gonna have to take your time. You're not going to beat this in a day. All right. It's not going to happen unless you just happen. I mean, now people have Artak and some other heroes. I think Mordecai is a free hero you can use. Like, there's a bunch of crap outside of the heroes that I'm showing you right now that are whatever. But yeah, there's plenty of heroes that can do this a lot easier. But a lot of you may not have those heroes. And some of you may have started and picked the wrong heroes. And you might have spent a lot of time doing the wrong thing. So this is your budget team. It's going to take a little bit of time. As you can see, we're already at 4 minutes. It's a rough fight, but they can do it. And that's the whole point. Resistance is kind of important here. Make sure at least everybody on your team has some resistance because those poisons are bad. And if the boss sleeps someone, you may get hit. Like he does a big hit and sleeps people sometimes. If he sleeps, like say Soul Bond, what happens is she has half health and she's asleep. So unless a healer comes in and heals her, the spiders are going to target her and kill her. So that was the one thing that took me a while to get to the point where I can beat it. All right, but yeah, this is a crap fight. I hate watching it. Like, I've watched this fight so many times that it just kills me. So hopefully we can get a turn meter reduction here. There we go. Now the death will be very soon. I think this fight used to take about 7 to 8 minutes. So obviously we've gotten much stronger. Boom, decreased turn meter, and Zephyr for the win. There you go. We got a 5-star gear. So in stage 15. So Soulbond did 2.8 million, Zephyr did 2.1 million, and Crimson did 2.2 million. That's not because they are strong. It's because the fight went longer than it needed to go. All right. But this is the kind of tactics you're going to have to use if you don't have great HP burners or someone who can really take the HP of the boss down very fast. Someone like Cold Heart is really good here. There's a lot of good heroes. I'm just showing you the early game versions because most of you won't have any of those heroes. Okay, so there's plenty of heroes that get you through some of these fights. So that's stage 15, which means this team can beat stage 10 and down at low level. Okay. So don't get bogged down and be upset that you can't beat a dungeon. All right. So that's basically all the starter dungeons. We'll do a potion keep run eventually, but I have videos for all the potion keeps, so I don't know if I'm going to go in there and really worry about it. Because if you can beat these dungeons, you can beat the potion keeps. The potion keeps are a joke comparative to the other ones. I don't think any of them are actually even hard. We just didn't beat them for a while because I forgot they existed. It's just how it is. So yeah, that's it. That's all the dungeons, early game, and some of the tactics you can use to beat them, and some heroes you can go in there with and beat. But yeah, basically, starting five. I can't stress enough the starting five team. Bring them in. You're going to beat almost every content if you just focus those five. And when I say focus, I mean level their gear, get the correct stats, make sure they have crit rate, make sure that they're speed tuned, make sure that you have them in order so that your attack up goes first, your defense down goes second, your speed up is actually your first. Sorry. So Apothecary Diablo, speed up first, attack up with Spirit Host, defense down with what's her face, stupid face, War Maiden or whoever you use, Fleshmonger, and then Kale comes in and wipes the floor with them. That's the speed tune you need, so make sure the speed is in order, and you will have an easy time in early game. And if you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment, let me know how you feel. I'm always going to answer, even if you don't like my answer, I always answer. And yeah, as always, like, share, subscribe. It is great for the channel. I like to see you guys sharing my stuff. It's always great when more people join the channel. We're almost at 1,600 now. I think we're about to hit it. So that's crazy, and I'm really glad. So thank you guys. And yeah, this is it. That's early game dungeons for the newbies. And this is Mobile Gamer Nerd. And you guys take care.